Hello there everybody, my name is Mr. Gamer and today I'm going to be doing two videos. This one is going to be relatively short and then the next one will be just my survival world. I'm at like the wood and leather challenge. This is the survival world of mine. And as you can see I got netherite on and all sorts. I have some stuff I literally just gained from a drowned. These two were just from the past that I've collected. And I'm going to be showing you many things that I have created. And granted, just keep in mind, I work literally 40 hours a week, which means 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. I actually stay there 9 hours a day, but one of those hours is my lunch break. And I see family, I help out family, I go and talk to friends a lot, I go walk, I go play multiple various other games, I work, so I have many things that go on. And granted, this might not look much to you at all, but it actually is, and there has been 7 months of work right here, and it's not much. I will admit it's not much, but for me it is much because I work, I see family, I do other things and all sorts, and I play other games, which means if you add that all together and put all the circumstances and all the things I do, it's actually quite a bit. So today I'm going to make a short video, and I don't know how long it's going to be, and I'm going to show you a couple cool things, and like as in cool things you might have not known, or I will also show you my world. So first, starting with my pyramid. This is really cool. I have not gotten to do the inside of it, but this thing took so much sandstone, so much, absolutely. It goes around the sides to make it sort of look a little realistic. And granted, I should put torches in there. I don't. So yeah, there's also a little staircase right here. I'm thinking about just putting a throne up here because I got a load of things and all that I could put. And then this area, I don't know what I'll fill in. Probably tombs or something. Now, it was really interesting to figure out what I wanted to be light source, but I felt like this would be the best way to light up the path because it looks sort of Egyptian themed. So I thought it would be cool to just put that in. Oh crap, I got phantoms near me. I also got these things from when I was building it and when I was just testing out an axolotl thing. Now one thing I'm going to show you is this. So typically you can just walk on this and you'll have no problem. Well, once I was just pressing my trigger button and this happened. It lights it up because I have fire aspect on my sword. And typically you would do this and you would be like, ow, 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 I burn, I burn, I burn. And then you would have to hop in water. Okay, but watch this. So I take my boots, they have Frostwalker. This is important, keep it in mind. I have Frostwalker on my boots. So if I wear Frostwalker and walk over it, it treats it as if it's a magma block, if you do not know. And that is something you can do to protect yourself. So there's that. We're gonna sleep real fast. Well, actually, we don't even have to sleep yet, because I'll show you multiple other things. I'm in the process of moving all this stuff and making multiple other rooms. I have a bee area over here. For some reason on Nintendo Switch, they tend to get stuck in their hives. So I've covered up where their hives were with moss carpet until I can repopulate all the bees. And so they're going to be doing their own thing, pollinating crops. And that's where they're at. I have this room over here, which you're probably like, well, where does this go? Oh, and yes, I got 3 wither skulls. Now, you're probably like, well, where's this go? Now I'm going to put on my armor because this place can actually be dangerous. And you can probably see by the block what it is going to be. So this is actually my Nether portal room. It took a lot of blackstone, loads of blackstone. And as you can see, I've got crying obsidian right here and all sorts. And it looks really cool. I got pillars of lava and soul torches. Now this is real interesting. And I gotta be careful not to mine that because there's something above there with lava. So I have this wither skeleton skull. Now the way you get mob heads, if you don't know already, is you literally have to have a creeper get struck by lightning, and then you have to kill them with the supercharged creeper. Now, there are certain mobs you can't get the head for. Okay, I did not know it would do that. There are certain mobs you can't get the head for. I have zombie and skeleton heads, and wither skeleton heads, and the dragon head. I literally just need the creeper head, which is toughest to get, in my opinion, because it takes another creeper to get blown up, and you have to make sure to not blow up. Next is my nether. So as you can see, it's basically the same idea, except I put black carpet over it to make it look cooler. That's some trash of mine. And then right here is this. Now this is my netherite mine / nether quartz mine. And basically I just stick to one level. I stick to Y15 because it is the best level to get netherite at. Now right here you can see I sort of got thrown off that pattern and stayed out of it for a while. But we're not going to go down all of these paths because as you can tell, there's paths going this way, there's paths going that way, there's paths going that way. There's paths going everywhere, and these paths literally can go on for thousands of miles. Each one at least goes for like 1,000 to 3,000 miles, at least. So we won't be exploring that. Now granted, I have not defeated the Wither yet, but for some reason he despawned and bugged out of my world. So I'm going to show you something of what he's done. So, hold on. So all this stuff right here you see in the basalt delta is stuff the Wither has done. He has blown all this up, and he had lagged out or something interesting. So there's all that, and you can see over here by various parts like this and that and that he's destroyed it. He's also attacked that area. He was just getting upset at skeletons and blazes and stuff. I've also used my nether for loads of gold and netherite. And quartz. Of course, netherite. So there's loads of things here. So there's my nether. So, yeah. There's also this giant fish tank, and there's loads of fish in it. This is the original part of my house. So this bottom floor you see right here is literally the original part of my house. There was no balcony or pillars or anything right there, or no roof on top, or no extra side, or no tunnel. It literally cut off at that block right there. Another thing is I love peonies and roses. So I have them like going outlining everything. Right here is a dispenser, and you're probably like, well, why do you got a dispenser? You don't need it. Well, you see, I have loads of fireworks right now, or I did, and I had in the past used them for just making fireworks that shoot out, and they would literally shoot out up to 7 different colors and look really pretty. Now this is my chest room. Now soon I'm going to move this. I'll just move it right now. Hold on. I got fortune on this axe if you're wondering why I'm using this on it. This is the room where I literally have a lot of stuff. We're soon going to have these be moved. this is just a shulker box of moss blocks. And you'll know why soon I have all that. I literally have stone right here, stone right here, stone right here. And it got so much to the point to where I had to do that because I collect. Also, part of the reason why I've done so little was because I collect and I explore for the new blocks. So I have everything in here. I have my 2 turtles. I'm pretty sure I named them, but for some reason their name tags disappeared. These are all my ores and everything. Now keep in mind, I'm in an older world, so these newer ores, like newer deep slate ores, they get these new textures. But my older ores, like old redstone, they get the old ugly textures. So that's a big downfall for me. I don't know why they can't make it to where, hey, since you're getting the new caves and cliffs features, like the new caves inside your old worlds, but you can't get the new textures for your ores. It seems a little stupid to me. I also got all that stuff, a load of glow ink sacks, which I'll tell you how I got so many. And then I have at least, I think, 9 conduits. I could make, if there was such a thing, a conduit block if I wanted. Like, sort of like an enchanted conduit block. Now this, you're probably wondering, you got so much glow squid ink sacks, or glow ink sacks. How do you have so many? Well, that's simple. You go to Arctic places, and since there's ice, it'll sort of cover up all the light, and it'll make it darker, and it'll make it cooler for you. Now this is interesting. This is interesting. Well, let's just say that's annoying because there were striders in here. Apparently they despawned. I don't know why. My foxes have despawned too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But foxes were really annoying to get into there. But I'd say the most annoying thing that was to get into there, honestly, was not even the foxes. It wasn't even. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna be like, well, foxes are annoying to get in. Yes, they're relatively annoying to have to get into that place. But the more annoying one was the striders, because I had to find some near my nether portal, and I had to fit them into here. So yeah, that was really annoying to me when I had to do that. Really, really annoying. This is for in case anybody wants to be here. As you can see, I have gathered loads upon loads of axolotls. I have no clue why they're crammed in this corner. I had a friend tell me that it might be due to the fact that there might be a river near my house and they're attracted to the fish. But it did not go according to plan, as you can see, at all. I have azalea bushes inside flower pots. I have beds here. So yeah, I have it to where you can see on the outside where the foxes were going to be. I have this cool little pattern that I thought was cool. And then I have my room right here. I have a couple of flowers. And I have this cool room. Now this, you're probably asking, well, what is this thing? Well, let me show you. So you take this and watch. So, watch my levels. It's 50. Okay? You do that, and it levels you up quite a bit. Do that, it levels me up quite a bit. You're probably wondering, well, is this a glitch or a bug? Yes, it is. So you have a bunch of potatoes underneath a hopper. Well, in a hopper, underneath a smoker. And so what it does is it thinks that the smoker still has, since you haven't collected it, it thinks there is still the same amount of XP from the hopper. From all the potatoes that are in the hopper, it still thinks those potatoes were inside the smoker or something, and it gives you that amount of XP. Now, regardless of how much potato you grab, you're still going to get the same amount of XP with this glitch. You just got to fill up the hopper completely and then do this. Now the key to this is you click on it, you grab one potato, and then you immediately exit. Because if you don't, and it's just basically ruining your glitch. And yeah, so that's how that works. I have a second one set up right here. I have potatoes that go into there. It's lots of fun. I use it to mend my tools, and it's better than any of those little creeper farms or things. Occasionally, when you refresh the thing, then it'll give you up to 5 levels when you first start off. You just gotta make sure to not grab any potatoes out of your hoppers or anything. This is where I grab glass, smelt cobblestone, and all that. I have dogs and everything, of course. And then here's my second part of my house, right over here, the top floor. So this I haven't done much with. I plan to make something eventually in here. I don't know what yet. Here's part of the map. This is an empty map that I still need to explore. I just haven't explored. I have explored part of this side of the world. I just don't want to map it out yet until 1.18 hits. So that's why that's empty. I have an overview of where my house, I'm at where my bees are. A lot of Endermen like to steal blocks from that wall, so I have no idea why. I have a bathroom. I spared 1 gold ingot for the simple fact that it could be a soap bar, and I got a weird toilet. And I know the bathroom does not look best. Now this, I thought it would just match best. Okay, and I found sandstone walls that matched this really good. Now this is the really, extremely, it was the extremely annoying / difficult part to build. Because as you can see, it's made out of all quartz. And I had to put all these pillars up like this. And I had to gather quartz. I had to go like over around like 5,000 to 8,000 blocks. I had to go and gather that many blocks of quartz with my Fortune 3 pickaxe to go and try and my Fortune 3 pickaxe eventually broke because it didn't have mending. To make all this and make the roofs and everything, so I would have to take a block like this right here and then place it underneath every time, and I would have little blocks like that under here, under here, under here. Every pillar that you see facing up had a block under it to make sure that it would be facing up, because otherwise it would have been placed sideways. And I am actually going to make this like a lounge area where people can hang out. Possibly thinking about making an upstairs pool for it, just for fun. I don't know why, just because I could. Eventually, on that side of that area over there, of that glass dome, I plan on making another part of my house where, and I mean really soon, where I can have like brewery and like furnace area and everything. So workstation area. I have this area, which is my meat area, where I can collect meat and put it at, and then I have smokers in here for cooking everything. It looks very modern. I have a sheep area right here, and then I have a horse area right here. And I'll show you that one area you saw in the distance that was made out of spruce in just a second. This is all my actual food. I have a bunch of apples and stuff, and then these are all the seeds and hay bales. Now, this area that I'm about to show you was actually made recently. Just keep in mind I ate a couple of the decorations because I got hungry, and just because I can, because I made it. But I made this area. I try to make different paths every time. This is my bakery. I actually have two cakes missing. I think I remade some of them, but I made it. What inspired me to make this area is partially the Shrek area inside Shrek's house from the Shrek movie. I found that campfires would be best because they produce smoke and make it look like it's actually burning, And plus, it doesn't catch my house on fire. I tried many solutions for the fire situation, and everyone just resulted in burning. And I was like trying to build it, so it was really annoying. This will be eventually where I store ingredients and all sorts of stuff in my house. I meant in my bakery. I plan on like just storing bread here and everything. I added some nice red tulips and white tulips to the side. And then I have simply made a egg farm over here next to the bakery because it seemed most reasonable to just have an egg area next to the bakery. It seemed really reasonable, and it seemed like a thing that would actually be near there. Now back to what you just see over here in the distance. Number one, this tree, this jungle tree, I have no jungle. But you're probably like, well, how do you get that then? Well, I traded with a wandering trader for some jungle saplings, and I used jungle leaves for something specific. So this used to be a cocoa bean farm, and I just used to use it for vines. But I don't need vines as much anymore because I have a lot of moss block, because I traded with a wandering trader for that. Now this is, I have actually collected some sea lanterns from like temples that were really far away and just structures in general. There's blocks for this and all sorts of rubbish that I just find along the way. Now either way, this is a giant hedge maze. It's squarish, obviously, but I put in a lot of effort into it. This is me building the next area of it, and I am building a lot of it. Now what you see right here is where I sleep and where I have everything at. I have tons of shroom lights, and I'll explain that when it hits night for why I have those. I have a bunch of jungle leaves and moss blocks. I have a bunch of jungle wood from when I gathered up the jungle leaves with shears, and it takes loads of shears. Now keep in mind, what you see right here is one part of it right here. This is one part. Now you're probably like, well, what do you mean one part? So each time you see one of these gateways, so from right here to this next gateway counts as one sector. There's supposed to be 9 of these sectors. Now since I work and I have to farm for these jungle leaves, and I have to get so much stone, and I have to get so many vines, and get so many shroom lights and everything, it's taking a long time. And you have to make all this, and the garden is basically self-lit. Now, it's night, obviously, which is actually good timing, and I'll show you how this garden is self-lit. So most people would say, hey, well, you technically shouldn't be able to get a self-lit garden. You actually can. If you were to be a real smart person, you would know how leaves work. Leaves allow light to go through it, and I figured, well, maybe use redstone lamps to let light emit through it. But that would require a torch, which I don't want to dig two blocks down, and then also it could require a redstone block, which neither one seemed worthy of what I wanted. And plus, they're not nature related, so I figured, why don't we use shroom light? Is what I figured. So I use shroom light, and it emits light underneath, and so what you get is you get this self-lit garden that stays lit all the time. Absolutely. Now, my sword, it can one-tap things, so I have no problem attacking things at all. Oh, great. You little jerks. Go. Go away. Go away. Sorry about that. And then there is, I'll take those phantom membranes. There is all this stuff that I'm going to show you in my basement that is cool. So, I will show you what enchantment you need to use if you want to ever have a, what do you call it, have a zombie head, or a skeleton head, or a creeper head. I would suggest, if you're going to do this, starting off with the easier ones, the skeleton and the zombie, because they do not blow up, of course. So when you're trying to get two creepers near, it's sort of tough, because you just sort of gotta hope that they spawn near each other. So what you want is, you want a trident with channeling, which basically in a thunderstorm, you can throw it at a lightning rod, or you can throw it at an enemy and it makes lightning. Now granted, it's not thundering or anything, but it still will. This was my first enchantment room. It never ever had a little side part like this. It never had this little part right here. This room entirely was never here. There was no underneath. It was just like this small area. And then I finally went into the works of doing this. And yeah. Now some things you're gonna see are dives. You're gonna see mob drops. Now I use bone blocks because they're cool and they produce me lots of bone meal. I have a variety of ores and everything. All sorts of ores, all sorts of blocks. Now you think this is a lot of gold. Well, I have a bunch of raw gold blocks, and then I have a bunch of gold blocks right here. So I'm technically gold ore rich, and I don't even have gold blocks. I'm at a gold farm. I have a bunch of saddles and diamond armor for horses. I have all this stuff right here. And keep in mind, this is blue ice. Blue ice is the second best ice in the game, I'm pretty sure. So there's ice. I meant it's the #1 ice in the game. It's the brightest. Then there's packed ice. And then there is blue ice. So I'll show you. So let me grab one of each. And I'll show you the difference. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but there are some people that, granted, do not know this stuff. I also have buckets of pufferfish, because pufferfish in a bucket are sort of tough to get without hurting yourself. So here is blue ice. Here is packed ice. And then this is ice. So ice is the one you typically see. Blue ice is the one that you see underneath the normal ice. And then packed ice is the one you see really deep underwater and is really tough to get, actually. But I have respiration, or no, aqua affinity on my helmet. So here's what it would be on a scale of what you would see it on deepness. You would basically see it like this. See it like this, and then like that. So that's the highest, that's the second low, that's the medium, and that's the lowest. By the way, my pickaxe has efficiency 5, so if you're wondering why I can insta-mine things, that is why. Yeah, and I have a bunch of other things. I have hay bales, I have honey blocks from when my farm was not glitchy, because that bug came out like I think like 6 months ago. I have bows and all sorts. Now you're probably wondering, why do you keep a bow like this? Well, it's simple. So I can take a bow like this, and if I find a bow from fishing, I can use my Curse of Vanishing bow, and I can disenchant a normal bow, and then combine it, and then have this bow just combine with it. And plus, it's a weird flex, I'm gonna be honest, it's a weird flex. Second is Dragon Head. I have this in here. I have, like I told you, loads of fireworks, because eventually I want to go in my world and I want to find bamboo. I found loads of shulker shells when just absolutely crushing 2 end cities. I have loads of, well, no longer loads, but I have tons of stone that I need to use for my build. And then I have a load of enchantment books in here. Now you're like, how do you get so many enchantment books? They cost a lot. They do, but these are my curse of bindings and ones, and I kind of find those special because they're rare. Sort of. I got all this, and I got 1, 2, 3 different types of CDs. Eventually I want to get a disc farm, but no. I got so many enchantment books because actually of this weird contraption right here that actually helps me out a lot. So yeah, this thing helps out a lot. And this is warped hyphae. So if you're curious, four roots, 4 of the crimson wood make up one of those, and it's really cool. And yeah, so this is so far my world. I hope to possibly show you guys more when it gets updated and all sorts. Eventually behind that garden I'm gonna make a castle. The bridges are really nice, and then this tomb right here, this grave, is for an old friend, mainly my dog, and then a friend that I know had somebody pass away a long time ago, so they wrote this down. And then there is the forbidden pumpkin pie that I must never touch. Never. So this is my world, and yes, let's go and see what it looks like from on top of the... I have Frostwalker on my boots, I forgot to tell you. Let's show you. And by the way, this land was never this flat. Keep in mind, there's a bunch of sandstone right over here that you can see from an old cave system. But this is where I gathered sand from and everything. This is the view of my entire thing, and it looks really nice. So this is my world. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I don't know, honestly, if anybody's gonna watch this. I hope somebody does, but if you do, I would please ask that you possibly consider dropping a like and subscribing, and that you all have a good night. So I am soon possibly gonna see you later, because I am going to make another video. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.